So in this video we will focus on compound interest. Now whatever that thing is, let us leave the name. We'll come to that name later. Now just imagine that you have 30,000 rupees with you. Okay, just imagine. Now you are depositing these 30,000 rupees in another bank, in a new bank. It is and this bank charges fees in a different way. Okay, charges fees in a different way means charges interest in a different way, and you put this money in the bank for 3 years. Now after 3 years the bank will give you the money back. So what happens in the first year, second year and the third year? Let us take a closer look. As I told you, this bank has a different way of charging interest. They also say the same thing, that is 3.5% per year. So the rate of interest is 3.5% per year, but the way they implement it or the way they use it is a little different. Let us look at it. Let us look at what happens in the first year. So remember, you start with 30,000 which you put in the bank. So in your bank account there is in the beginning 30,000 rupees. Okay, now in the first year your interest will be 3.5% of 30,000. Okay, that is 3.5% into 30,000, which is 1,050 rupees. Okay, now let me write that down. So first year, second year, third year. First year you get 30,000, you had 30,000 plus you got interest of 1,050, which adds up to 31,050 rupees. All clear? Now the second year, what happens? 3.5% of 30,000. Now this is what usually happens. I mean, last time we studied like this, but this bank charges differently. They don't charge interest based on the money you borrowed, but they say we will give you 3.5% of whatever is in your account now. So you're in your account now. In your account now, there is 31,050 rupees. So they will charge this interest based on that money. That is 3.5% of 31,050. Okay, so how much is that? When you do the calculation, you get it as 1,086.75 rupees. That's more interest. Okay, so let me write that down. 31,050 plus 1,086.75. When you add that, your total balance becomes 32,136.75. So this is your new account balance in your bank. Now you have this much money. Now in the third year, they will charge this interest on this money, the money that is now there in your account. That is 3.5% of 32,136.75, and when you do the calculation, you get it as 1,124.78. So you see the interest is increasing. First it was 1,050, then it became 1,086.75, then it is 1,024.78. So let me write that down. 32,136.75 plus the new interest 1,124.78, and this adds up to 33,261.53. Now students, what do you understand? You started with the money 30,000. You put that into the bank. Now how much does the bank give you back after 3 years? 33,261.53. That means 3,261.53 rupees you're getting extra, and that extra comes from the addition of this interest and this interest. You get it? So here you see that interest is adding up, or interest is put upon this interest is put upon this interest, which this interest is put upon this, so the interests are adding up. Now this is called the amount, the total amount, and total amount we represent it as A, and this is the final amount which you get. Now it could be the other way also. Now since you're getting the money, this is a profit. Suppose you are taking the money from the bank, all this would have been the opposite. And what I mean, not all this, and this would have been the opposite. And what would have happened is you would have to pay the bank this much money. That means you would have taken only 30,000 from the bank, but you will have to pay 33,261.53. So if you are taking from the bank, it is a loss. If you're giving it to the bank, it's a profit. So you get it. Now, what do you see? Interest adding upon interest, and that is called compound interest. Now you might be thinking, so why compound? In chemistry, you might have studied what a compound is: compound, molecules, element. These topics you have studied in chemistry. So compound, what did you study? You studied compound as a mixture of elements, right? Compound is a grouping of elements. When different elements come together, you call it a compound. Likewise, when different interests, when many different interests are coming together, it is like a compound. So that is why it is called compound interest. Okay, so in the next video we will see how to calculate compound interest, and we'll solve a problem on compound interest.